G'day YouTube, welcome to another episode of the Friday Vape Club. As always, your host Squidly Tris, back for another hardware review for you. Today we are looking at a sub-ohm tank. This is the Advken Dark Mesh sub-ohm tank. It's, it is what it is. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna dive down, we're gonna take a quick look around this like we always do. I'll show you the coil heads and the packaging and everything else. Then we'll jump back up here. We will do the pros, cons, price, if I would recommend this thing or not. So stick around, watch the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to smash that like button. Let's get into it. Okay, and here we have a closer look at the Advken Dark Mesh sub-ohm tank. This thing is 24 millimeters in diameter and it is 43 millimeters tall. At its widest part on the tank, it's around about 28 millimeters thereabouts with that bubble glass installed. All right, so up the top here, you do have an 810 drip tip, which he's fucking stuck in there pretty nicely. Boom. It's got an O-ring on the inside, so you should be able to fit your 810 custom drip tips in there. Excuse the juice. Oh, it's crunchy, but it's in. Up the top here, you do have this sort of innovative fill system. You got to look for the little Advken mesh. Look for this. Put your finger here, push, there you go, and that exposes your juice slot. The only issue I have with this fill port is that with the drip tip on, it's very hard to get your bottles in at the right angle, and because of the way that that top piece is in there, you can't fit your unicorn tip at this angle. It should be sort of angled a little bit more. Kind of forces you to have to try and put it this way. Anyway, it's just a bitch to fill. They haven't made that air gap big enough. So see now I've got a bubble, an air bubble trapped under the VG. All right, slide that up. This is your bubble glass section, which will hold 6 mils of juice with the single mesh coil head and 5 mils with the 3 mesh coil that I've got in here at the moment. And then down here you do have your airflow adjustability with some really nice knurling on it. It is nice and stiff, very stiff airflow adjustment, and you do have 4 little airflow holes. There you go, pretty cool. And then underneath you do have Advken, a gold-plated floating 510 pin, and all the other shit that you would expect. So that's a quick look at the dark mesh. Let's take a look at this coil real quickly. This is what it looks like on the inside. And then you do have all your specs down here. So this triple coil head is 0.15 ohms and good from around about 80 to 110. I found it's lasted for about a week and I had it sitting on about 90 watts for most of that time. And then as I noticed a bit of a pretty significant drop in flavour, I dropped it down to 70 watts and got a couple more days out of it. So yeah, pretty decent coil heads. A lot of wick ports for this, which you're going to need running 3 mesh coil heads. It's such a high wattage, but it's pretty cool. And they simply just unscrew from the deck. Like so. The coil heads have a O-ring installed just to make that seal a little bit nice and you're not going to get any spillage down in your base section. This is a look around the dark mesh. It is really well built, really put together nicely. Feels really quality. I love this sort of matte black finish on it. It's just a really nice looking sub-ohm tank, especially with this custom matchy match drip tip. Let's take a look at the packaging. All right, so here we have the packaging for the Advken Dark Mesh sub-ohm tank. There's a picture on the front. My drip tip's a little more white than that. All right. On the back, usual back of packaging shit. You have got the kit contents right here. You've got all that other shit down there. All right, pop this bad boy open. Inside this box, you do get a whole load of spare O-rings. You do get an Advken social media card. You do get a spare glass section for your bubble tank. You do get a spare single mesh coil head. This is 0.15 ohms, rated from 50 to 80 watts. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And you do get a cleaning rag. The Advken Dark Mesh. Let's jump back up top, do ProsConsPrice, and if I would recommend this thing or not. All right, so there we had a closer look of the Advken Manta. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take it for a toot. Why? Why not? This is what we always do. So yeah, we're gonna take it for a toot like we always do. Let's get into this. I've got the 0.14 triple mesh coil head in here. It is sitting at 72 watts. That's because it's on its last legs, but let's take it for a rip. All right, first up, we always talk about flavor, airflow, cloud production.
Cloud production, airflow.
All right, so the flavor of this thing is pretty good. I've got, like I said, the triple mesh coil head in here, and I was really surprised at the flavor. I found that, you know, some triple mesh coil heads, you lose flavor because you're trying to gain more like airflow and cloud production, but this was really good. So kudos on the coil head there, Advken.
Fucking nailed it, cunt.
I would give this coil head like a rating of, for sub-ohm tanks, maybe an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. Cloud production, as you saw, pretty good cloud production, and it is a very airy vape. This is a more open sub-ohm tank than I was expecting it to be. This is my kind of preferred vaping style, I guess, and they've sort of made that in a sub-ohm tank. I like a very airy, open draw. I like it to be kind of almost like breathing, and I want the flavor that comes with that. That's why I'm not really a big sub-ohm guy, but this has surprised me a little bit. All right, let's get into the pros and cons, shall we?
Pros.
A pro for me is it looks good. It's really well built. You get the matchy drip tip. I do like the slide style. You push the top and fill it in, close it up. That's a really cool feature. What else do I like? Quality build. It holds a shit ton of e-liquid. With the triple mesh coil head in there, you can fit about 5 mils, and the juice capacity increases to 6 mils when you put the other coil head in here. That's kind of it. Look, it's flavorful. It holds a shit ton of juice. The coil heads are pretty good. It's got a lot of air, and it's well made. And it comes with a matchy drip tip. Some pretty good pros. So let's get into some cons.
Cons.
I think a real big fuck up with this was the juice fill slot. The problem is that you can't put your e-liquid bottles that way because of the drip tip. You've got to take the drip tip out all the time, and it's stuck in there pretty well. It's fucking nice and tight. So you kind of got to do it on this weird angle, and you get VG in there. As the air's trying to escape, you get like the VG bubbles, and then it ends up spilling out. So they need to fix that. I like the push system. I just think that needs to be tidied up. Apart from that, I like everything else about this device. All right, price. So let's get into the price.
Price.
What is it going to set you back? Well, I found this in Australia for 55 bucks, and on the net for the US people, I found it for $40. That's a pretty fucking good price, really. I kind of think I would recommend this. I think it gives the Falcon King a little bit of run for its money. Someone else has come out with a decent sub-ohm tank that has just as many pros as that Falcon King. Very flavorful, airy vape. So yeah, if you're after something different, go and look for the Advken Dark Mesh. That's all I've got for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like always, please like, please share, please subscribe, and remember, keep it cloudy, YouTube. Keep it cloudy.
I've got a slot production.